So guys, if you're ever headed down to Oatman, down on Route 66, there's this quirky little rest stop here on the corner of Oatman Highway and Navajo. As you can see, these flags, coffee and smoothies. What? Out here in the middle of nowhere? Nope, yes. Mother Road Coffee Bus, guys, the Mother Road Coffee Bus. They're out here on Route 66 in this unique vehicle that built it up into a coffee serving bus. Custom built from the ground up. This is a unique story. The Hammonds, they built this thing, and it's a fantastic story. We're bringing that to you right now. So they are making for us right now, guys, the frappes. We're gonna have a cookies and cream and a vanilla bean, and definitely gonna add some coffee to that.
I'm doing my part here, Jay. I stand here and look pretty.
All right.
Christine does most of the blended drinks, and I do the hot drinks. And so she's giving me a lesson on blended drinks here.
All right, in training.
I just made a couple of them for a couple of customers and didn't do them correct, so I'm being schooled now.
So wives out there, how many relate to that? You guys feel like you got to train us still once in a while?
Constantly.
We actually have cheat sheets up here. If you want to see, I've typed everything out.
All right.
So I make little cheat sheets so we know how to make the drinks, just as a reminder when we get busy.
It's in cream frappe, and it is delicious. And she has the vanilla bean, which also is fantastic. Hey guys, I'm here with John Hammond and his creation, him and his wife, the Mother Road Coffee Bus. So John, tell us about this bus you created.
Sure, Jay. Myself and my wife built this over the last probably 15 years. It started out just an idea. Myself and my buddies would sit around and watch Monster Garage back when that was something. And we thought we could build something like that. We've got a little bit of talent. And I had this idea of serving coffee out of an old school bus at car shows. We both had hot rods at the time. And we did a lot of car shows, and it was kind of a coffee island. You couldn't get any coffee or smoothies or anything like that. And so we kind of came up with this idea. The two buddies thought I was insane, and about the same time my grandfather left all of us grandkids an early inheritance of I think it was $22,000, and told us that we could have this under the condition that we didn't spend it on anything normal like bills, that we took and did something out of the ordinary. And so I found the old bus in a field. My wife was my girlfriend at the time. We had just started dating. We went and found the bus in a field in Redding, California, and I explained to her what my idea was. She thought I was insane, still with me, my wife, and drug the bus home. And then we started looking for a donor vehicle for it. I found a 1988 Chevy Dually on Craigslist at the time. And then I told my two buddies, remember that idea? Well, I have all this stuff sitting in a shop. We lived in a neighborhood that only had a single car garage, so we had to rent a shop to be able to do the build. And those two guys and myself, over the next 3 months, working every weekend and after work, did the initial build of stripping the body off of the dually truck, stripping the frame out from underneath the bus, shortening the bus 37 inches to fit it on the chassis of the truck, getting it to be, or it was a running vehicle. And then we did one car show in California with it, the Skip Long Memorial Classic. And then we moved here, and the bus came here, and it sat in a garage here for the next 10 years while we worked regular jobs. And then about 2 years ago, we decided to kind of proceed on with that idea, and we've developed a business plan at that point and kind of a build plan to finish the bus up. It really had no interior in it. It was just a shell, just a running vehicle. And then over the next 2 years, we finished the interior. We put air ride suspension on it. We added to the top of it. It was real low. You couldn't stand up in it before, so we had to raise the bus on the chassis 4 inches, put the roof on it to where you could stand up in it. And when we did that, it made it look like it was a gasser. It had a lot of space between the wheel well and the wheels. So we ended up having to do air ride suspension to get it to lower back down to look like a hot rod, not look like it was four-wheel drive, and completed the inside. We owned a coffee shop years back, a cafe coffee shop, and some of the equipment from that coffee shop ended up in the bus. And that's kind of was the inception of it, the coffee machine, the blenders, and a couple other items. But we bought everything else new, all the refrigeration, all the plumbing, all the wiring, flooring, countertops, all that was custom made. So I'll take you inside. We'll have a
so
look
you
at
probably mentioned from beginning to end, how long was the process to get to where you are now?
It's about 15 years.
Wow.
So it was a 3-month build originally to get it to a running vehicle. Then it sat for 10 years. Then it's been another 2.5, 3 years to get it to this shape right now. But my wife and I, for the last 2.5 years, we have worked every day on it and every weekend. So we're right at about 2,500 hours into it.
Wow.
Complete. But that's just the two of us building it. So
yeah, but great work, great job. It looks fantastic.
it's kind of rat rod-ish. And, you know, it could have been, we could have taken it to various shops and, you know, it probably could have came out a lot better, but the idea was to build it ourselves and to kind of show people that, you know, just with moderate tools and moderate ability and in a normal shop, nothing crazy, this is what you can come up with.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of an inspiration for a lot of the builders around now that not to get discouraged. You know, it wasn't a large amount of money. It was a fair amount, but not a large amount, not compared to hot rods nowadays. It was just a lot of time and a lot of effort. And again, it could have come out a lot better, but the idea is that we did it all ourselves.
Yeah.
The paint job, the air ride, the whole interior, we've done everything ourselves. The business plan, my wife's done all of the advertising. She does the t-shirts herself. She does all the logos herself. And we're just two normal people. She's an RN by trade and I'm a carpenter by trade. So again, it's just something that just normal people can do. So come on in, Jay, let's take a look.
As you can see, he's wearing one of their hoodies.
The seats were out of the original donor truck, the 88 dually one ton. And the interior, we've tried to keep it as much original as we can. Some of the side panels are the original school bus. As a matter of fact, underneath the hood, it's still school bus yellow. So the dash is still the original. We just clear coated this to kind of show what it looked like over the years. When we bought it, somebody had converted it into a motorhome, cut a hole in the roof to put the stack from the wood stove and that kind of stuff. And we've had to kind of rework that. It had sat in a field for, we're thinking, right around 30 years. So the whole bottom 1.5 feet of it was rotted. So we replaced all the sheet metal from that. And the top where the gutter was out was rotted, but the inside of it was covered in sheet metal and it had the same curve. So we just took the sheet metal from the inside and put it on the outside. So it actually worked out for us.
This is amazing work, guys. As he said, they did all this stuff, all this, the seats and the kitchen.
The seats actually slide because the school bus, the steering wheel is further over than a normal vehicle. And as you can see, I would be sitting in the middle of the seats, but we put it on a rack where it'll slide so we can drive, and then we can slide it out of the way to be able to get in and out.
Oh, that's neat.
So again, we've done everything in here. The countertops, the flooring, the shelves. I didn't know how to weld aluminum. So I bought a spool gun and watched a bunch of online videos and taught myself how to weld aluminum. It's probably not the best. A lot of the welders will look at it and think that it's not that great, but it's just a countertop. It's not like I'm welding an overpass.
Yeah.
And it works. The countertops, my dad did Formica when he was a carpenter, and I'm a 5th generation carpenter. And he did a lot of Formica because it was popular when he was a carpenter. So he came over and showed me how to do the Formica. So we handmade the countertops. Got a milk fridge right here. This is where we store everything. So this one we only open 1 or 2 times during the day. This is where we store stuff. It's designed to just hold cartons of milk, crates of milk. So it's not designed to do anything else but that. So we can store about 30 gallons of milk. So if we do a large event, 30 gallons of milk ends up being about 200 copies. We're probably not going to ever do that in a day. That would be a copy every 3 minutes for 6 hours straight.
Never say never.
Yeah.
You might get pretty popular.
Yeah, so this is really just milk storage. And this was the smallest one that's just proprietary for milk that I could put in here. And we had the refrigeration from the original cafe, but it was 20 years old, and technology's come such a ways in that 20 years that the old refrigerator would take 20 amps. This takes about 2 amps.
Oh, wow.
So my 10,000 watt generator can run all this, right around 50 amps for everything.
Wow.
The blender is really one of the only original things from the cafe, and the coffee maker itself are the original from the cafe. We have a daughter that is a architect in California. She drew the original plan for us with the original floor plan to kind of make sure everything worked out. And as a matter of fact, when we submitted to the county, they had never seen a set of plans for a food truck like that. They were a little bit surprised. They said most of the time they get plans for a food truck on a piece of binder paper. So the plans she drew were probably 15 pages with schematics and everything involved.
That's amazing.
This is the fridge we work out of almost solely. And that's because this fridge is small enough that as we open it and close it, it comes back to temperature quicker than that fridge does. So that when we just store stuff in, we'll transfer it into this when we run out of stuff. Got an ice bin. Again, everything's set up to where Christine has her station, I have my station. It's kind of narrow through here. The reason it's narrow is because of the wheel wells. That was really what limited our floor space here. And again, it's air ride, so when it's dropped all the way down on air, the suspension comes up into these little boxes, and the rear differential touches the floor. So that's as low as it can go. That's kind of what limited us to where we could have things. The countertops are flush with the wheel wells there, so we don't trip over them.
What an amazing, unique creation. You guys have put so much work into this, and it came out fantastic.
Thank you.
So shout out to you guys, all the work you have done. Come out and see them, guys. Mother Road Coffee Bus. Do you guys go other places, or are you usually parked just here?
We do events. Really what we do here is we're right down the street from our house. If we do an event, we'll try to come out here the day that we're not at an event. We both work full-time jobs, so we're only Saturday, Sunday right now. And so most of our focus is events. We just come out here to kind of fill the other day.
Yeah, great. So if you guys are heading down, and here's the other half of that equation coming in here. That's the actual boss, right?
That's the actual boss. We're really trying to pay homage to the Mother Road, to Route 66.
Yes, absolutely.
And try to stay on Route 66.
With the 100th anniversary coming up next year of Route 66, I think you guys are going to see a lot of popularity. That's going to be a big deal coming up in 2026.
Yep, absolutely.
So come and see them, guys. Mother Road Coffee Bus, usually parked here at the corner of Oakman Highway and Navajo Drive. Awesome work, guys. Fantastic. So guys, check them out, Mother Road Coffee Bus. We're going to put their story up again for you guys so you can read about everything he talked about, all the builds they did, all the time they put into it. So that's it, guys. See him on social media. Come get some swag. Come get some coffee. As you're going off-road or going to Open, whatever. Come and see him, guys. Mother Road Coffee Bus. The Mother Road Coffee Bus.
Thank you, Jay.
Guys.